G'day, today we're going to have a look at the Mini Motorways level of Rio de Janeiro and see how we go and if we can get to that 2000 mark. So I've had one go at this one and got to 1900 and something. So it definitely put me in a good place to feel like this is an achievable one. It is just... oh, actually what sunk me in my last one was purely that late in the game I decided to move one of my really long highways and it caused that highway to just stay stationary for so long that the factory that was relying on it just died. Like I wanted to move it from one side of it to the other. It was a very pedantic sort of move on my part, and it ended up costing me the game. But that's all right. We can have another look at this guy. This is definitely an interesting one for sort of the use of space. Bridges and tunnels both come into play in this. On the far right hand side there's a fair few islands that you might end up using bridges to, or motorways if you've got them. Once you're sort of out of these two mountain ranges, there's not really too much in the way of blockages up the top. So to get out of these you will want to use your tunnels, but other than that it'll probably be bridges and motorways. And using those tunnels isn't too bad because I've only just started coming into that, so I've still got to get another 95 tunnels used, I think, for the achievement. Well, that makes life easy, I guess. That makes life less easy. How long this guy could survive with that. If I had one more house there, I would almost just leave him be. It's a real mum and pop store vibe to that guy. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this guy a longer journey than you would think he needs. Basically the goal is that I've just connected him to the other end of these houses. I'm going to change this slightly though, because I know the way this game thinks. I'm going to do that because I know that it will put purple guys on the underside of this this road. So I'm just going to block the closest point to the green, so that houses, whether they're green or purple, will end up on that same one side, and they're workable. Now, in terms of houses for this guy, there's not too much I can do other than that. I think that a circular factory to the point where you reach 2,000 passengers needs 4 to 6 houses attached to it. So I think that when you're making your layout, that's all you've really got to consider. 4 to 6. So, for example, this guy here is one house away from being fine in endgame. And I mean, this area down here is getting pretty full, that you'd hope that I don't get too many more purple houses down here. But I will again just do that, just to hope that I might get one there. Now they're coming real quick for me for these yellows. On the plus side, I do have houses on sort of each of the sides of these yellow guys. And I guess the good thing too is that if I've already got 3 of them, you would hope that I'm not going to get too many more. I would assume max out at like 5 or something. So again, let me just change this road to be straight up to encourage yellow housing to show up here somewhere. Or purple, just not green. If they're not going to give us any more houses, I guess at the moment what we're going to have to do is just go straight through this mountain. I can use a bridge to get him over here, but I won't just yet. What is nice about the position of this guy over here though, is that he is already past the intersection that this guy uses. So if we say these 5 houses are the permanent fixture for this one guy, I could cut this off and these guys would never have to come through, and this would just stay as a nice, real smooth moving system that those guys can use to connect. But because I've only got the one house currently operating this guy, I'll leave it. And since they're not going to put houses or anything in water, I can have a fair bit of confidence that, yeah, especially since I've changed that to that now, this guy can definitely come across here and connect to that if I ever feel like I do need him and I don't need bridges. I think one problem I had the last time I played this one was I ran out of road a bit. Might have got a little too heavy on motorways, and I don't think that motorways are necessarily the key to this one. I think this is one where you really want to start with a strong base of a nice road network, as opposed to stressing about your motorways. I do have that one motorway, but definitely I'm going to try and just hold on to him for as long as I can. Now, a problem that I'm starting to see here is the amount of green that I'm getting over here as opposed to how many I have down this way. I currently have no tunnels, so I will take the tunnel. Cool. Less cool. I need to give us a new, give me a new population for my oh, he can't even go down, so I can't even get him around. I need a new population center for my my purple houses because currently they are a little stuck. So what we'll do is we'll connect this guy to here for now. But again, it means that all the houses of purple are flowing in the same one direction. We'll get this guy across. It's mainly this point here where this is going to really start to pinch at some point. Run out of roads. Well, these guys currently aren't being used, so let's just pause that for a second. You can definitely change that to be a road, depending on what we get this next weekend. Take the motorway. Taking the motorway means that I've got less need to think of the word, less need to have, I guess, lots of road. And since there wasn't an option to have, say, 30 tiles, I may as well just use that instead. Alright, cool. So that extended out a little bit at least. I don't have enough road to do anything with. But definitely, I'm going to move that. Oh, that doesn't matter, does it? Because this guy can point down and they can come out. He can join them. No, he can't. He has to go that way. Because you can't join directly onto a bridge, which would mean that these guys have to come down and then out. I feel very lean on yellow houses at the moment. And I'm flush with red. Really loving those red houses for me. Do have 2 bridges, so we can take advantage of him. And if he gets a couple of friends, they're probably going to be more ideal than... I don't want traffic lights, so I'm going to take the motorway. Basically, basically the late game, I think the motorways are going to become more important. But also, I'm not going to get to 9 motorways anyway, so I can just sort of see them as an extra cost, or rather a substitute for the road I'm not getting. Now that being said, I'm not going to use the motorway to connect these guys to there, because obviously I can't get them all the way up. So for the meantime, I will just live without these guys, because it seems like I'm doing okay without them. Could put a motorway between him and there, but again, they don't really seem like they're in too much of a burning need. Actually, what I will change though is that I think that this guy actually is a little bit important. I just complained about having no. I'm gonna wait for all this to disappear. Just complained about having no yellow houses, and so a yellow house comes up, I should probably use it. Okay. Let's just wait a second. Basically, we need to wait for this to clear up. Cool. Alright, so let's pause. One downside to making a mistake in a tunnel is you've got to start from the start. Okay. So he's across. They're back, and now I've got those extra yellow houses into this network. And this guy. So how many? I've got 2. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of. See if I can get around this guy. I've got to wait for that road to stop being used. And alternatively, I could just give these guys the motorway. Yeah, let's do it. Let's claim all this road. Give them a motorway. And we will... This again is what I was talking about trying to separate where your warehouses are connecting to. We will connect this guy to the far end, just so that its guys on this end will go to him, guys on that end will go to him. Okay. And with the urgency this guy's starting to express, we will give them that other motorway. There's a lot of red houses here. I do hope they give me some more red factories for them to do something. You can see everyone on this side of this just hasn't got any work to do. Okay. Still, I think our biggest need is yellow houses, so this one dude out here is still debatable if I bring him in. Some of these red guys just don't matter. These guys are just sort of like a row down. There's nothing about this that says more cars need to be involved in that. This is looking bad. Now that possibly could just be because I pulled their highway from them, and so they all went home. And then when they went all at once. I'm going to take the traffic lights because I don't think this level's built for roundabouts. I think everything's too crammed in. It's crazy. Let's flick him up. Still got one bridge, still got one tunnel. A lot of guys dedicated to this factory at the moment. 6 guys down here, so I mean I'm comfortable with 6 guys doing 1, but 6 guys having to do 2 isn't great. And I mean clearly this guy doesn't need as many as he's got. Okay. Cool. Alright, well that solves the problem of what to do with all those extra guys. And it'll clean up this the congestion there a little bit too. We'll take the motorway. Alright. Yeah, probably these guys could actually use a roundabout, I suppose. And you can better believe I am hoping that this ends up being light blue. Still have a bridge. And 2 highways, so I can definitely connect these guys over here. Which I should build up like that, so that some of these, at least anyone on the outside can get into this connection. Alright, we've got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright. We will hold on to our highways for now. I think I'm gonna have to order these guys across. Take the tunnel. And what I'm going to do is I want to put it all the way over here. The idea is that they're going to come from the other side in, so even if it's clearing out this, not this probably most urgent one, it just means it's going to be less traffic having to travel through anywhere. Like spend more time on that sort of connection. It is a very long road for them, but I think probably the most worthwhile position for them. Now, I think these guys down here are considered no longer needed. That's a weird way to connect there, dude. What are we meant to do with that? Well, I guess what we can do is change up these guys' job. Just waiting. Go. Alright. So these guys, their role is now to just look after that one factory. And still have a motorway, and I'm at 16, almost at 1600. So I think that I can see that none of these guys up here are doing anything. So what I might do is build another on-ramp here to there, and then shift this one to there. I don't think this guy's much of a problem, but I think that what I can do is just sort of... Actually, we can probably then do that too. Just give them that clear indication that there's 2 different jobs being done up there. So many light blue houses too for how little work they probably need at the moment. Red is starting to look a bit busy though. So let's take a tunnel and have a look. what we can do is we can work around these guys, get some guys just attached to the top. Now, the reason that this will be beneficial is that what we will do as well is we'll cut that, and we will cut this, so that it's now not this absolute mess's concern to take care of this guy. I actually think that I've probably picked the wrong fight here. I will return that to there, and I will give this one to these guys. I think that this is going to be a little bit of a spot fire that we have to put out. So what I'll do is I'll wait for this to move. Okay, cool, so that's moved. Now that that's moved, I'll move this guy to there. He was that one. I'll shift him to the end that way, then separate them. So that guys heading this one can go that way, guys heading to that one can go that way. Separate them out, clean that up a bit. Because I've moved this freeway closer to the circular one, this guy's a little bit happier because he doesn't need as much attention. The only thing that we're currently waiting for, actually, and I should put that back, there we go, okay, is that I realized that because I cut that road at the same time that I yeah, oh, I could have killed myself there. So I cut that road at the same time I moved the highway. I forgot I was waiting for the highway. Well, the highway needed to be moved before anyone could actually address it. So, skin of my teeth here that I'm correcting a mistake that basically is the same reason I sunk myself last time, because I moved a highway for red. There we go, 2000 in Rio de Janeiro. Now let's see how much further we can survive. Now, I can see that this guy is getting a bit jumbled here, so we're going to get rid of that. And this green guy decided to join us there, but we'll get rid of him. And I will add these guys here. Give them the luxury. So what we'll do is, that's now 4 houses that can connect to this guy. And that's a light blue just there. So there's not much pressure on this, I don't think. Okay, how do we manage this guy? Okay, and then what we can do is we can get rid of this connection to discourage those guys from going across. Connect to these guys. Move him out of the way so I can see. We'll leave them connected. It's only a square one, and this is a situation where we will yeah. Let's adjust that road, because it was on the sort of cross of a like the line of a square as opposed to the middle of the square. It wouldn't let me put in the traffic lights. But we can move these guys up that way too, so that hopefully there's not too much needed of those guys. Nowhere for him to go to help out here. These guys are still going to be permanently on the edge. I should probably make use of that yellow guy. How long's he been sitting there like that? It's certainly still very congested, so what we'll do is we will sort of point guys out, so we can definitely make a clear divide that this is a different suburb to that. Because you can see there's still cars crossing between the two, that they actually hadn't figured that out themselves, that they shouldn't be sort of intermingling to do that. Now I think that the thing that's probably going to stop me from having long-term success in this one is going to be that I haven't had a motorway in a while. We are still stuck with just 5. But definitely would help us, but we're doing quite well at the moment. The big thing that I think I try and preach now is that it's not so much about separating by color, it's actually separating by warehouse. Try and have yourself lines that where the sole job is like the sole job of a road is a warehouse. It's not a what do you call it? Like, it's not a color. Now I'm going to move this guy to here because this guy is well under control. You can see that I could move that and no one actually even objected to it, to an extent that I was almost concerned that there was no one at home. Alright, but if those guys are fine, then we're just going to claim that for red, and we will put it at the other end. Keep an eye on these guys, because these guys would have just been doing only in like case of emergency. And clearly yellow isn't sort of, I mean, these guys are even moving really well. The fact that there's an intersection here doesn't seem to be deterring them too much. Alright, cool, there's the motorway. Let's just try and see if we can have a look to see who might use it. Still feel like red is going to be my my ultimate downfall here. Some pretty ugly little neighborhoods I've built for them. I realize I could probably connect the whole suburb up here. That would be closer to this guy than what's going on. There's a light blue suburb down here too. Now light blue is starting to really look overwhelmed, so we will help them out. Get it. A group of guys there, connect them, and then Highway 6 can just bounce that way. Should at least relieve the amount of guys needing to move through this messy little suburb here. Actually, what I might do is move that guy to that side as well, just so that someone else is going right out of that. Let's connect. Let's do this as well. Let's try and relieve this. We can get that connected there, but then this guy, and then these guys can all have the task of connecting to this. Oh, sorry, he's part of that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses, and that's just a square. So they should be able to take care of that. Reducing congestion moving through here again. Now yellow is starting to look very congested, and is not coping with the fact that I took their highway away from them. They're not going to be kind and give me back one. So is there anything we can do to help out yellow? I'm not sure there is. I think with yellow we might just have to watch the world burn. Actually, what we can do is we can sort of use Highway 6 as a, like, sort of to put out spot fires, because this is much more under control now. And what we can do is we can just shift some houses. No, that's not an actual road connecting to anyone. We want to go that way. We'll give that guy to them as well. Just hope these guys finish their work quickly so I can get... You can see how long this takes. If you need to correct a mistake, well, he'll do the job. Put him over there. Now the real problem is that this is just going to suddenly add a whole bunch more congestion to this. Possibly, I actually have made a mistake and should have put it back over where it was. Because now this is just definitely adding to the problems this guy was experiencing. Whoops, accidentally destroyed a bridge. Okay, so let's fix that mistake. We'll get rid of that and then just tell this guy he can just go straight there. Cool. Now because we got that motorway, it means that this motorway can now be, well, it doesn't even matter. Alright, cool. Well, there we go. Yeah, not too bad on that one. I think that's probably one of the easier levels. If you're struggling to get to your 2000s, I think that one actually might be possibly the first one along with LA to try. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Till next time, see you later.